Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Magandang araw mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, sa Kuala Lumpur. Sa Sabah is Malaysia, may dalawang states tayo dyan, ang Sabah at saka ang Sarawak. Ang mga kaibigan, mga kababayan ko Filipinos, dyan po sa Pilipinas, ang mga kaibigan ko at kababayan ko, mga OFWs sa iba-ibang parte sa mundo, I would like to say magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you wherever you are. Ito po si Nico po yan. Once again, nandito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today, it's, thanks God, it's Friday. Friday na po. Last day na. Last day of the week. Last day ng trabaho natin po for this week. And tomorrow, we are going to enjoy na naman ang dalawang araw na weekend holidays. So, I wish each and every one of you that you're going to enjoy and it will be a fruitful weekend sa ating lahat po dito sa Malaysia, dyan sa Pilipinas, or kayo po nandyan sa iba-ibang nasyon. Sa iba-ibang nasyon. So, grabe, no? What is happening sa Pilipinas? And kahapon, busy tayo po. That's why I did my blogging sa, sa gabi na. Dahil I was watching itong Senate hearing carried out or ang chairman ng Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, si Amy or Senator Amy Marcos, no? And nakita ko po, nandoon ang mga senador natin po and very identified sila po sa grupo ni Tatay Digong because itong third hearing carried out yesterday was all about ang legality of the arrest of Tatay Digong and handing over of Tatay Digong to the custody of ICC dyan po sa Netherlands. Last March 11 po nangyari ito. No? And aywan ko po, who is telling the truth? Who is telling the truth? But yesterday, nakita natin, because I was really monitoring, no? Nakita natin po na kunti-kunti lumalabas na po ang katotohanan. Lumalabas ang katotohanan na po. Kung ano ba ito? What katotohanan? One is, hindi naman direct, no? Hindi naman direct, but nakikita natin po na ang utos to serve the warrant, to give assistance from the Philippine government to execute the warrant against Tatay Digong po. Obviously coming from top officials, Philippine government top officials po. Ano yung top officials? Pwede ba? Hanggang sa presidente talaga yon. But obviously, nakita natin po during the third hearing yesterday, investigation yesterday, parang it is already pointing up dyan po sa presidente. Siya po nag-utos. Although a person in charge of the operation in serving the warrant of Tatay Digong, si Major General, Brigadier General, si Nicolas Torre ng Philippine National Police. Sabi niya, during the hearing, sabi niya, he is getting the order from the PNP chief, si Marbel. No? Si Marbel. But when Senator Bato asked Marbel kung totoo yon, sabi niya, hindi galing sa kanya. He pointed to another person. No? To another person. And then another person say, walang siyang authority. And itong si DOJ Secretary, si Remulla, sabi niya, he was the one who gave the clearance. The clearance. But si Senator Bato was saying, clearance and order are two different things. Who ordered or gave the order to the person in charge doon po to make sure that Tatay Digong will board the plane to bring him to Netherlands or dyan po sa ICC or hand him over sa ICC. Nandyan din po si question din sa kanya po si Ambassador Marcos Lacanilao, no? And he was cited in contempt because obviously sabi niya Repeatedly, sabi niya, he doesn't know, is not aware that Digong, from morning of March 11, from Hong Kong trip, when he arrived in the Ninoy Aquino International Airport at 9-something, hanggang umalis na lang, hanggang Tatay Digong was brought to the Netherlands, no? Sabi niya, is not aware that Tatay Digong was given the opportunity or his right to present him to the local court. So niya wala. But the problem is, from morning hanggang umalis na lang ang plane, hanggang dumating na sa Netherlands, dyan po sa ICC, ang turnover na po, itong si Ambassador Lacanilaw, accompanied, and nandyan po. And sabi niya, I'm not aware, and he never left the Villamor Air Base from Ninoy International Airport hanggang sa Villamor Air Base, hanggang umalis na lang sila po. He never left ang compound. And yet, he was saying he's not aware kung mayroon ba, kung si Tatay Digong was brought to the local court, no? Which is the law says it should be handed over first to the local court, and mayroon yung mga procedures wherein to make sure that the suspect or the individual person concerned is the right person. Asaka, he knows what are the charges. Just like what happened last March 14 ba yun? Diyan sa ICC. Exactly that was the thing that it should happen dito po sa Pilipinas o dyan po sa Pilipinas, sa local court natin po. And hindi yung nangyari. And when questioned, itong si Ambassador was saying he's not aware, which the senators, Senator De La Rosa at si Senator Amy Marcos, who is chairing the committee, they said it is very impossible. You are telling lies to us. And nagpas ng motion si Senator Bato to contempt him. And it was approved. Kasi nobody objected, it was approved, no? Na-approve din si Senator Amy Marcos. But what happened next, I'll tell you later on. What happened next, I'll tell you later on. So yun po, nangyari po. And yun po, mga nakikita natin po, ang mga violations nandiyan po. Diyan sa hearing, present was Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Maganda din po ang mga questioning, line of questioning niya po. Nandyan si Senator Bato, nandyan si Senator Bongo, although online siya, no? And dumating din po si Senator Ruben Padilla po. Nagiging emotional si Ruben Padilla, but ang speech niya po during the hearing, straightforward, down to earth, and it will really touch your heart. Grabe po ang speech ni Senator Ruben Padilla po. So, alright. So, yun po nangyari. So, I'm going to share with you some mga video clips ko that I managed to record it, and I'm going to share it with you now. But karamihan yan po, yun portion, sila Senator Bato de la Rosa, si Senator Amy Marcos, and mayroon ba yun si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, and I don't know if I have recorded also ang mga statements ni Senator Bongo po. But anyway, to start with our topic today, let me read you. Fresh na fresh po, no? This morning nang ito, because I wanted to do my blogging morning, but I'm waiting for the latest update po. Updates regarding ang sitwasyon dyan sa Pilipinas, itong issue ni Tatay Digong. Po. And let me read you a news article coming from the Inquirer newspaper po, and Inquirer News Network dyan sa Pilipinas. And The news article goes this way. Manila, Philippines. Senate President Chis Escudero criticized Senator Amy Marcos on Friday, or it means today, boldly telling the presidential sister to refrain from using the Senate as a platform for her political objectives. Grabe, no? Grabe po. Ha? Grabe ang statement. Ang first para pa lang po, no? Grabe talaga po, no? Mabigat ang salita ni Senate President Chis Escudero kay Senator Amy Marcos, who happens to be, or who is, the elder sister of the President of the Philippines, si Ferdinand Bongbong R. Marcos Jr. In a statement early Friday, Escudero refuted Marcos' claim that he refused to sign the contempt order of a special envoy on transnational crimes ambassador si Marcus Lacanilao. The envoy was cited in contempt and ordered detained by the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations for allegedly lying during the hearing. According to Escudero, Marcos released her statement and floated to the media her signed arrest and the detention order even before he could see, much less receive a copy of it. Ambassador Lacanilao was ordered detained without the requisite approval and a due process, sabi ni Escudero. After several hours of Ambassador Lacanilao's unauthorized detention, I directed his release, both as a matter of regularity and out of humanitarian consideration, as his grandfather is to be laid to rest today, Friday din po, si Escudero said. While Escudero debunked Marcos' claims, he still said he is willing to comply with the requisite of due process. Therefore, he said he would issue a show cause order against Lacanilao within the day, or within today, directing him to explain within 5 days why he should not be cited for contempt by the Senate panel on foreign relations. Quote, I shall decide on whether or not to sign his arrest or detention only thereafter, said the Senate chief. Mag-decide daw siya after receiving itong letter. Why he should not be, or si ambassador should not be contempt, no? And that will take after 5 days. Still, Escudero explained that all members of the Senate are fully aware that under the rules of the Senate, the power of a committee chairperson to order the arrest or detention of any resource person cited in contempt is subject to the approval of the Senate President. So, meron yung mga criticism po. Sabi nga dapat dire-diretso na, no? Ang problema lang po, I notice sa atin, hindi naman problema, no? But may ruling din, may policy din ng Senate. And their policy is not parehas po sa policy ng Congress, no? Ng Congress. Ang Congress, once you will cite in contempt, diretso na po. Issue of warrant of arrest, wala nang letter, no? Wala nang letter yun po to explain why you should not be contempt. Sa Senado po, ang polisiya nila po, kailangan pa yon. Kaya nga, I think it's also wrong to say bias si Senate President Chis Escudero. He's just also following ang policy ng Senate. Ang Senate. Kasi karamihan sa atin po, we always think, because we have seen Quadcom, We have seen ang TRICOM, we have seen other committee hearings. Madali ang mga committee members to cite in contempt ang mga tao dyan po, ang mga resource person nila. Dito po sa Senate, iba ang polisiya. Iba ang polisiya. So that makes the difference, no? Okay, Escudero said, this safeguard exists to ensure that the powers of the Senate are not exercised prudently with a due regard for the rights of all and not wielded for personal or political ends. For reasons unknown, Senator Marcos appears to have disregarded this long-standing rule or conveniently forgotten it that the approval of the Senate President is not automatic or ministerial simply because she desires it, Escudero explained. Meanwhile, Escudero told Marcos to refrain from using the Senate as a platform for her own personal political objectives and to instead use her name, the title, and influence as a bridge toward unity, not a wage for division. I will not allow the Senate nor the office of the Senate President to be used to further petty partisan interests, especially by those actively seeking re-election in the coming May midterm polls, Escudero said. The Senate is an institution of reason and rule. It is not a tool to be leveraged for propaganda or self-promotion, he pointed out. Senator Marcos says that this episode sets a terrible precedent, and I concur for different reasons, he told the media. I believe it is a dangerous precedent to allow senators to flout the Senate's own rules for personal gain, Escudero explained. For when procedures meant to safeguard due process and institutional integrity are ignored for media mileage or political ambitions, that is when the credibility of the Senate is threatened, he warned. Yan po. Yan po ang statement, yan po ang rason ni Senate President Chis Escudero why he stopped the detention of Ambassador Marcos Lacan-Nilao, no? Despite the contempt na po ang committee ni Amy Marcos yesterday during the hearing, na contempt na po sa ambassador for telling lies sa hearing. Alright? Yun na po. That's the thing that I want to share with you. Alright, let's go sa mga natin, sa mga video clips na mayroon tayo dito po, no? I will share with you mga video clips. Hold on, first video clips, ano ba ito? Okay, let's listen first to, since we are talking about Amy Marcos, let's listen first to this statement of Amy Marcos when interviewed by the local media immediately after the session yesterday po, dyan sa Senado, sa Maynila. Let's listen to this.
Bakit sila nagmamadali? Isa pang malaking tanong, lahat walang alam. Yung ICC, ang tagal-tagal na pala dito sa Pilipinas, buwan-buwan na nakakaalis pa lang yung iba, nung nakaraang buwan yung iba, hindi ko alam kung nandito pa. Abay, hindi nila alam lahat. Paano naman nila hindi alam? Samantalang lahat ng presinto pinagpupunta sa Caloocan, Station 6, Batasan Hills QC, lahat ng ospital, kinakalkal na yung mga dead on arrival sa East Avenue. Ano na nalalaman lahat ng detalyeng yun? Ang sinasabi ni Secretary, puro civil society. Ang dami kong barkadang civil society, hirap na hirap. Maangal nga na hindi sila tinutulungan sa ebidensya. Abay, napakasigasig naman at mapalad ditong mga civil society sinasabi nila na access, pati confidential medical records, pati secret bank records. Paano nila nakakuha lahat yan? Kaya hindi mapagkakaila na may tumulong sa ating pamahalaan. Maraming pangalang binabanggit at wala naman tayong katibayan. Baka mauwi na naman tayo sa sinasabi ni Secretary John Vic dati na puros chismis. Pero yung pag-aresto at pagtangay ni Pangulo Duterte, hindi na chismis. Totoo na yun. At maliwanag na hindi ito biglaan tulad ng sinasaad nila nung unang hearing na March 11, biglang nagulanta lahat at alas 3 ng umaga dumating yung Interpol warrant galing sa ICC. Maliwanag na hindi totoo yun. Mayo pa umaandar na lahat ng mga proseso. Mayo, noong nakaraang taon, nag-umpisa na, andyan na yung ICC noong October, nag-umpisa ang Quadcom, at yung DOJ nagkaroon ng task force. Nagtataka ako sa kanila kung bakit sinasabi nila na nagulat sila. Samantalang maliwanag na nagtulong-tulong sila ipunin lahat ng katibayan.
Alright, yun po, si Senator Amy Marcos gave that statement immediately after ang hearing niya yesterday po dyan sa Senado. And just for your information, I was monitoring the hearing yesterday. No less than the former Chief Supreme Court Justice, si Justice Adolf Ascuna. He also confirmed that may illegal irregularities nag-violate ang authorities po, ang Philippine government po in the arrest of or surrender arrest of Tatay Digong and handed over Tatay Digong, the former president of the Philippines, to the custody of the ICC po, no? Of International Criminal Court. Confirm na yan po. Sabi ni, that is according to former Justice Adolf Ascuna po during the hearing yesterday. Alright, saan pa? Meron pa tayo dito isang footage ni Senator Amy Marcos. And let's listen to this. Sandali lang ito po. Alright.
Malawak ang plano na gibain yung mag-amang Duterte. Malawak po dahil yung mga dates niya, parang pag tinignan mo, yung BI, naaalala ninyo yung pagbuwag ng ating saligang batas sa pamamaraan ng suhol ng ACA para pirmahan. Parang yung Plan A, hindi sila sigurado. Tapos yung kay VP Sara, hindi ko maintindihan. Biglang Plan B na naman, may impeachment na tumatakbo pa rin. Pagkatapos may ibang plano pa, yung ICC na ang dadampot kay Presidente Duterte. Iba-ibang plano, pero maliwanag na hindi nangyari kaagad-agad nung umaga ng March 11. Hindi po totoo yun, hindi ka panipaniwala.
Yun ba, sabi ni Senator Amy Marcos is the committee chairman ng Foreign Affairs investigating itong arrest of Tatay Digong last March 11 po, no? Nangyari yun March 11. Now, she keep on repeating na it is not true that the authorities of the Philippine government is not aware. Last minute na nila po nalaman na may warrant of arrest kay galing sa ICC para kay Tatay Digong. In fact, sabi ni Senator Amy Marcos, nandyan na yan po ang preparasyon po as early as last year. And it was also because Senator Amy Marcos during the hearing showed some footages po. And one of the footages shown during the hearing yesterday, and it was also shown during the second hearing the other day. Now, even no less than General Nicolas Torre was the one who said na this is not something new. They already prepared in the events. Mayroon ang maglabas ng arrest warrant kay warrant of arrest kay Tatay Digong. Alright. Now, my next footage is ano nangyari sa contempt order issued by the committee po, no? Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. Ang contempt order kay the ambassador, and what happened? Let's listen to this po. Let's listen to this. And then kayo na bahala maghusga, ha? Sandali, nandito po. Alright, sandali. Shoutout muna tayo kay Meryl Pentojo, who is also watching ang program natin. And of course, mayroon din tayo dito mag-watch. Shoutout tayo kay Rosanna and girl Razali Paimin po, who is also watching my program dito. Si Art Enriquez, Ruben Castillo po, and friends from Zamboanga City also watching. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned lang kayo po, because I will still be giving you some more footages po, so that you will be able to have a picture of what happened yesterday po dyan sa Senado during the third hearing of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs. Nandito po ang next footage natin, and what happened to the contempt order. Contempt order, nandito. Saan yan? Ano ba yun? 153. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Itong si Lacanilao, pero sa utos naman ni Senate President Chis Escudero, napalaya na nga po ito. Ano po bang nangyari kahapon, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, para lang po sa mga kapatid din natin na hindi po nakapanood nung hearing? Bakit po umabot sa pag-cite in contempt?
Well, napakahaba ng panahon yung binigay ko sa kanya. Mga ilang oras pa yun bago ko siya sinente contempt. Noong una sabi ko, hindi kami kagaya ng iba dyan na contempt ng mga resource person nila. Kami po dito ay fair ang laban dito. Hindi po kami mga abusado. Pero please tell us the truth. Huwag kayo ang sinungaling dito. Otherwise, talagang may kalalagyan kayo kung hindi kayo sasabi na totoo at hindi kayo cooperative sa Mr. So, yun. Ang nangyari is that pinipilit niya. Dahil hindi pinabayaan na namin siya after ng first questioning. Tapos sa bandang huli, tinanong siya ulit pala ng chairman. Kaya chairman ay ni Marcos kung hindi niya alam na hindi dinala sa competent judicial authority, national judicial authority, meaning korte, sa korte, si Pangulong Duterte, talaga nag-insist siya na hindi doon niya alam, despite the fact na nandun lang siya, pagsalubong kay President Duterte sa tiyog ng NAIA hanggang Pangulong Duterte sa Gulfstream papuntang dahil. Andun siya all the time, pero hindi daw niya alam na hindi dinala sa korte. So halatang nagsisinungaling. Kaya
alright, narinig niya po si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Next video clip is still Senator Bato de la Rosa commenting on the decision of Senator Chis Escudero. Chis Escudero. 118. Sana yun? 118. 118. Alright, nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Sa programa, si Attorney Cristina Conti kahapon, nagbigay po siya ng pahayag na sabi niya, mukhang kayo na daw po ang susunod na maglalamping.
Hold on parang dito. Sandali, 118, ito po, 118.
hindi ko I would react to that. Kailangan mag-usap-usap na kami. Gusto kong kausapin kung personal si President bakit nagkaganon. At kami muna senators mag-usap-usap tungkol dyan kasi ayaw kong hindi maganda na kami naman nag-aaway. Hindi maganda. Kaya sana magkakausap kami ASAP being Vice Chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, I demand explanation bakit gano'n. Mag-usap muna kami bago ako magsiwala at magmulalas ng aking damdamin kasi mahirap na. Mag-usap na kami. We need to talk. As an institution, dapat hindi kami magkakalap. Kailangan magkaisa kami. So, kausapin ko muna siya. Although may initial reaction to that is I'm dismayed by that move. Pero still, hindi muna ako magtatalak dito. Mag-usap muna kami.
Sige, sir.
Alright, yan po si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Now, for your information, ito nga mga video clips I'm sharing with you po. This is video clips I took during the interview this morning by DJ Shasha and Maricel, no? Tandem sila po during the program of Ted Filon. 6 o'clock hanggang 10 o'clock yun po. And ang guest nila po kanina, si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Alright, meron pa tayong iba pang video clip. Now, this time, Bato de la Rosa is talking about sino ba nag-utos na make sure na mag-board si Tatay Digong sa Eloprano to bring him to the Netherlands and hand him over dyan po sa International Criminal Court. Sino talaga nag-order? Yun ang gusto malaman ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, as well as ang chairman din po, si Senator Amy Marcos. And that is the reason why they asked that question. And ito na po, nangyari na po yun condemn dahil dyan po. Alright, let's listen. I'll share with you this footage. Sandali. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Hapon, asking kung sino yung nagbigay ng go signal para pasakayin doon sa eroplano si former President Rodrigo Duterte and in-invoke niya pa rin yung kanyang executive privilege. Ano po ba yung basa ninyo dito? Why is it important for you to know kung sino yung nagbigay ng go signal? Although sinabi naman po ng DOJ na siya yung nagbigay ng clearance.
Giving clearance is different from giving the orders. Let's put that into proper perspective. Sa amin sa military, sa police, iba yung clearance, iba yung order. Yung order talaga, para palaman natin who is the most guilty, sino talagang utak na itong lahat. Para malaman the public deserves to know. Kailangan malaman ng bayan kung sino talaga. Yun, nagtutulak-tulak ka. Ma-exercise in contemporary sana ito si Chief PNP. Kaso nag-invoke siya ng executive privilege. So, we respect that executive privilege. At tinalong naman natin yung isang resource person natin na one of the framers of the 1987 Constitution, si Justice Adolf Ascona. Kasi nagdudula tayo kung covered pa ng executive privilege itong si Martel. Because alam natin, executive privilege is covered lang ng privilege na ino pang membro ng gabinete. Pero may explanation naman si Justice Ascona na it can be extended doon sa mga sub-secretaries or subordinates ng cabinet members as long as the function is there. So, yun, intindi natin yun. Pero halata na nung naipit na siya, si General Marvel, una sabi niya, sabi ni Tore, ang nag-order daw sa kanya is si PNP, si Marvel. Ngayon, nung tinanong ko si General Marvel, sino nag-order sa kanya, tinuturo niya yung PCTC. Yun daw nagbigay ng order. Nung sinita ko yung PCTC, kung siya bang nagbigay ng order, hugas kamay siya. Hindi daw siya nagbigay ng order. So sabi ko, so therefore, the Chief PNP is lying. Kasi ayaw talagang aminin ng PCTC na siya nagbigay ng order. Yan is function na yung pagbibig PNP. So, nung nasumpula si General Marvel, yun na, nag-invoke na siya ng executive privilege.
Pero
Alright, yun po. Narinig ninyo po, no? From General Torre, pumunta kay Marbel. Marbel pumunta kay sino yun? Defense. No? And then, sa bandang huli, nagsalita si Secretary DOJ na siya nag-order ang siya nagbigay ang clearance, and yun na ang issue between clearance and order. Si Senator Bato raised. Okay, meron pa dito. Senator Bato pa rin. Let's go kay Senator Bato pa rin. Okay, sandali. 102. Sandali lang ito. 102. Let's listen to this.
Well, lahat naman ng bagay-bagay na hantong sa ikakasama ng bayan o ikakagulo. Pagkakagulo ang bayan dahil sa kang issue ay still national security yan. Isipin mo kung aminin nagbigay ng order sa kanya si Presidente Marcos, hindi magwawala yung taong bayan. Ganito na pala ang Presidente. Ganoon na pala siya kataksil sa kanyang mga tauhan, sa kanyang sinasakupan ng mga Pilipino. So magwawala ang taong bayan. So national security pa rin yan. So when he invoked that doctrine the doctrine of executive privilege, ang respeto na ng
Okay, so please.
Alright, yun po. Ang segment. Now, do you believe, for those who watch the live or replay ng hearing yesterday, mayroon din isang portion, isang session dyan po, wherein si Secretary Remulla was saying na the senators are bullying the resource person. And yun po, may mga exchange of words doon. Do you agree or not? Do you agree or not? And dito po, ang video clip, ang comment ni Senator Bato regarding itong statement or statement of Senator or Secretary Remulla, and claiming that may bullying daw during the session or during the hearing. Let's listen to this po. Ang side ni Senator Bato. Okay, sana yun. Senator Bato. Bullying. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
DOJ Secretary Boying Remulla na parang bullying na raw yung ginagawa sa mga executive officials kahapon dyan po sa naging hearing. Ano po ang reaksyon ninyo dito sa naging pahayag na ito ng kalihim?
Wala po kami intention na mambully dito. Ang aming intention was to find out the truth. Bullying ang tawag niya doon, let the people decide kung binubully ba sila. Pakita mo ninyo yung video. Tingnan niyo yung video at kung binuli ba namin sila. Minura ba namin sila? Pinipilit ba namin sila na magsabi ng hindi totoo? Hindi naman. Ang sa amin lang naman, ang tanong ng line of questioning namin is lumabas sa katotohanan. O kung gagawin nila scapegoat yung bullying para hindi sila labas ng katotohanan na tinatago nila, then posibleng ganun. Ganun ang nangyari. Ayaw sabihin na bullying na dahil ayaw na sabihin yung katotohanan.
Senator, ano na pong susunod na mangyayari? Magkakaroon pa ba ng next hearing? Ipatatawag pa rin ba natin yung mga executives? Kasama pa rin po ba dyan sila Kanilaw?
Hintayin natin si Chairman, si Senator Ainig po, ano yung kanyang gagawin. Hintayin natin.
Oo.
Alright, yun po. Yun, Yun, klarong-klaro ko. I myself, I can testify na there was no bullying. In fact, maganda mga question. It was properly delivered, no? In a polite manner. Walang bastusan po, no? Walang bastusan. And I don't think so. May bullying doon po, no? But I don't know. That's how I look at it. when I was monitoring the session po. I don't know sa inyo po, no? Kayo na bala mag-usga po. No? What I'm trying to do is just only to show to you what happened during the session yesterday. Now, during the interview, kanina ni DJ Shasha and si Maricel sa Ted Filon program, they also asked reaction coming from Senator Bato regarding ang human rights chief dyan sa Pilipinas, si Attorney Conti, na she was saying that there is a possibility that General or Senator Bato will be the next one to be arrested po by the ICC. Nandito po ang reaction ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. Alright? 116. Sandali ha. Tingnan natin. 116 ba yun? 118 or 116? We try this one. Sandali ha. Hold on.
Christina Conti kahapon, nagbigay po siya ng pahayag na sabi niya, mukhang kayo na daw po ang susunod na
Hold on. Sorry.
Tugon niyo dito.
Hold on. Alright.
Sa programa, si Attorney Christina Conti kahapon, nagbigay po siya ng pahayag na sabi niya, mukhang kayo na daw po ang susunod na bibigyan ng arrest warrant ng ICC. Ano po ang tugon niyo dito?
Wala problema. Hindi ba natin kontrolado ICC kung issue tayo ng order. Tingnan natin kung ano magiging action ng ang ating gobyerno despite all that happened during the Duterte situation, no? Yung nangyari kay Pangulong Duterte, tingnan natin kung anong gagawin nila na naaayon dapat naaayon sa ating konstitusyon.
Oo. Senator, hindi pa rin po nagbago yung naging pahayag nyo noon na kayo po kung sakaling mang matuloy ang arrest warrant na yan, hihingi pa rin po ng tulong sa Senado?
I will explore all possible avenues, no? Na pwede natin magkamit na para mapigilan yung pagpadala sa atin sa dahil.
Opo, sige po. Puntahan naman po natin yung naganap po kahapon sa hearing. So, nagkaroon nga po kayo ng mungkahi, no, na i-contempt itong si Lacanilao. Pero sa utos naman,
Alright, yun po. Yun po ang statement ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. Alright, now you saw ang mga reactions both of Senator Amy Marcos and of course ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. Kayo na bahala po maghusga. Maghusga. And in the event you didn't manage to see ang the whole hearing yesterday, siguro you can go to other channels po and listen po. And then from there, you will have the idea kung may bullying ba, may plano ba yan na to arrest talaga si Tatay Digong, remove him from the political arena sa Pilipinas. Ito ba dahil it is politically motivated, itong impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte, itong handing over or so-called surrender of Tatay Digong to the ICC, and mayroon ba violation po? Nag-violate ba ang rights ni Tatay Digong when they executed and assisted the serving of the arrest warrant or warrant of arrest to Tatay Digong? Now, kayo nang bahala to maghusga po. Maghusga. Anyway, tuloy natin po ang programa natin na Friday ngayon and Saturday tomorrow and the following day will be Sunday. And Sunday, definitely po sa mga Kristiyano, Roman Catholic faithfuls. Now, I just want to remind you that on Sunday, it's Palm Sunday. What is Palm Sunday? It means it is the start of the Holy Week na po. After that, during the Holy Week, the next Sunday will be Easter Sunday na po, wherein tapos na ang Lenten season ng mga Kristiyano ng mga Roman Catholic po, or tapos na ang fasting for 40 days ng mga Kristiyano po, or mga those who are embracing the Roman Catholic faith. So let's make next week as a very solemn Holy Week po para sa atin, no? Para sa atin. And I was made to understand, even ano pa rin magulo sa Pilipinas, issues left and right, no? Pagdating Holy Week, everything will stop when it comes to politics. Everything will stop. The whole week po, wala yung kampanya po, no? Wala yung kampanya. Everybody will be dedicating Holy Thursday, Holy Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday po will be a very holy observation po. No? So, ganun na po. Just as a reminder. Alright, let's go now to another issue, but still related to Tatay Digong or PRRD. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Mayroon yun the other day, ang asawa niya, si Miss Hanilet, Madam Hanilet, congratulate Bongbong Marcos for what happened. Sarcastic daw yun po, no? And kaninang umaga, during the press conference of spokesperson ng Malacanang, si Undersecretary Claire Castro, ito po, mayroon siyang statement dito. Let's listen po. Sandali, ha? Let's listen. Hold on. Si Hanilet. Ano ba ito? Castro 314, ha? Hold on, nandito po.
Hanilet Avancenia congratulating the current administration for the situation of kidnapping and killings in the country. There was, I think, a sarcasm in her tone. Nakakalungkot. Dahil muli, mababanggit na naman natin ang mga kaalyado ni dating Pangulong Duterte. Hindi po ginagawa na katatawanan ang isang ganitong klaseng sitwasyon. Kaya kay Ms. Hanilet Avancenia, huwag niyo pong gawin na issue. Dahil may buhay po ditong nakasalalay, may mga buhay na nawala. Huwag niyong gawing issue ito at gawin niyong katatawanan ang gobyerno. Hindi natin malaman bakit ganon ang naging attitude ni Ms. Hanilet. Parang ikinatutuwa pa ba niya na may mga ganitong sitwasyon sa bansa? Hindi ba dapat bilang Pilipino nagkakaisa tayo upang ang bansa natin ay umangat? Hindi lamang para sa taong bayan at para na rin mapakita natin sa buong mundo na ang Pilipinas at ang mga Filipino ay nagkakaisa. Huwag silang gumawa ng gulo dahil hindi po yan maganda. Huwag nila simulan ang gulo sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng ganitong mga klaseng remarks o pananalita. Ang Pangulo po at ang administrasyon ay kinukundina ang bawat krimen na nangyayari sa bansa. Sa katunayan nga po, nagpatalaga na po ang Pangulo, nagkaroon na po ang PNP ng Special Investigation Task Force para mag-focus po sa kaso na ito ni Mr. Anson Ke. At itong si Police General Elmer Ragay, a former director of the Anti-Kidnapping Group, ay na-relieve na po dahil hindi po nasisiyahan sa pagkakataong ito sa kanyang performance. Kaya po ang itinalaga ay si Police Colonel David Poklay na dati pong Criminal Investigation and Detection Group. Kasama po siya dyan dati. So, makakaasa po ang taong bayan at ang buong sambayanan na hindi po tutulugan ng gobyerno ang mga ganitong klaseng sitwasyon. Pananatilihin po natin na magkakaroon ng hustisya. Bibigyan natin ng hustisya ang dapat na bigyan ng hustisya at hindi po natin hahayaan na mangyaring muli ang naganap sa mga naging biktima ng EJK. Kaya muli pinapanawagan po natin
kay Miss Hanilet Abensania. Huwag na po sana mamutawi sa inyong bibig ang mga gintong klaseng pananalita. Dahil hindi po rin natin gugustuhin i-congratulate ang dating Pangulong Duterte sa mga nagawa pong EJK. Dahil po buhay po ang pinag-uusapan dito.
Alright, anong sa paningin niyo po? Anong comment niyo po? Itong statement ni Yusek Claire Castro po. Diyan po sa Malacanang. How do you look at it? Kayo nang bala. Kayo nang bala. Kayo nang bala. May putos din siya po. But, I don't know. Kayo na po. Kayo na. Kayo na maghusga. Okay? Now, before I will conclude itong episode natin po, April 11 ngayon, I will give you another video clip kay Yusek Claire Castro. Now he's talking about or answering ang question ng mga reporters during the press conference po this morning about the health of our president, ang presidente ng Pilipinas, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Nandito po ang statement ni Undersecretary Claire Castro. Hold on.
The President's health lately, kamusta na po ang Pangulo?
Kung makikita niyo po, yan naman po ay talagang pinapakalat. Siguro para palabasin na ang Pangulo ay hindi maganda ang kalusugan, not in good health. Mapapasin niyo po, siguro po kahit po yung mga media, halos araw-araw naman po ay nakikita ninyo ang Pangulo sa kanyang mga activities at sa kanyang pagsama dito sa alyansa. Maliban dyan ay meron pa rin po siya mga meeting, kasama po kami. At sa aking perspektibo, dahil nakakasama tayo mismo ng Pangulo, maganda po ang kalusugan ng ating Pangulo. Dahil kung di po maganda ang kalusugan ng ating Pangulo, malamang ay hindi na po siya nakakaganap ng kanyang mga tungkulin sa araw-araw. At ang aking pakiusap lamang po sa mga fake news peddlers, huwag niyo pong gawa ng kwento ang Pangulo patungkol sa kanyang kalusugan. Hindi po yan maganda para sa ating bansa. Dapat po ipagdasal pa po natin na maging maganda ang kalusugan ng mga namumuno sa atin. At iwasan po nila na magbigay ng speculation kahit hindi po doktor ay nagpapakadoktor sa social media.
Alright, okay, yun sabi mo, okay ang health ng presidente natin, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Okay, kung totoo, sana totoo po, and kasi kailangan tayo ng healthy president po, no? We don't deserve to have a weak health, unhealthy president po, especially now, ang Pilipinas, ang daming problema and we are facing another midterm election po. At saka, ang dami tayong mga problema sa Pilipinas. Problema sa China, problema relationship natin sa US, tungkol ang tariff, problema ang domestic problems natin sa Pilipinas, ang rebellion, problema ang unstable political stabilities natin, unstable ang economic stability natin, unstable ang problema tayo sa security aspect ng Pilipinas. No? So, dapat lang ang presidente natin po healthy. And ang mind niya po, walang problema. He can think properly for the betterment of the country and the Filipinos po. Yan. Huwag natin kalimutan mga kaibigan natin po dyan sa Zamboanga. I would like to say buenas tardes, buenos días con ustedes todo alina Zamboanga. Hola en buenamente ustedes este mga tiempo, Viernes ahora, and mga kandidato natin dyan po sa Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, ang Zamboanga Peninsula, ang mga ibang probinsya dyan po sa Mindanao, ang Barn, at saka ang Visayas and Luzon, busy-busy ang mga kandidato natin. Let's avoid dirty games politika po sa campaign period, sa mga sorties din po, and let's avoid itong killings as what happened yesterday po dyan sa Leyte ba yun? ang mayor was shot. Good thing he was shot not critically or not fatal po, no? And kanina mayroon siya sa Espinosa ba yun? Mayroon na press conference kanina po, and he was mentioning ganito po ano nangyari po, no? And identified din yan po whether but is not convicted, but identified din po dating self-confessed drug lord, self-confessed drug lord ba yan? Correct me if I'm wrong, And I just want to remind ang mga kababayan ko po dyan sa Zamboanga City, kung gusto kayo po another congressman sa Zamboanga City, dahil ngayon mayroon tayong District 1, District 2. If you want a third congressman, huwag natin kalimutan. I can tell you na is a good material po if we can bring up ito si Rolando Rolly Ledesma Makasayid, Diaton Este po, de Zamboanga yan po. And if we can bring him to the Congress, then it will be a good help to Zamboanga City, to the people of Zamboanga, mga residente de Zamboanga po. Hindi kita manuya po. Maybe let's give him a chance po. If he will not do good, and then next election po, 3 years lang yan po, no? Then we will kick him out. But as far as I know, he's a good material para sa Zamboanga if we want third congressman dyan sa Zamboanga. This is the first time po, this is the first time in the election that we have a party list po, and we can call our own party list from Zamboanga City. Ano ang pangalan ng party list ni Rolando Rolly Ledesma Makasayid? Ang pangalan ng party list niya po is SSS GSIS Pensionado Party List po. Second nominee po si Zamboanga din po, si Espiritu Santos po. And kung makaabot tayo ng 1 million, dalawa tayong congressman. Ibig sabihin, mayroon tayong 5 congressman in Zamboanga City. So, siguro hanggang dito na lang ang programa natin dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And once again, kung I hope I managed to give you whatever important information that you need to know regarding what happened or what is happening sa issue ni PRRD or Tatay Digong, ang developments dyan sa political activities sa Pilipinas, and mga iba-ibang bagay pa dyan po sa Pilipinas. So with this, I would like to say again, thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines. God bless us all. I see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you.